Hello guys, once again I am back for the second time. I'm kidding. So I recorded this and didn't even check that it recorded in slow motion. Gosh dang it, man. For 30 minutes, I was talking. Okay, it's fine. So I'm gonna have to run it back, everything. So what's up guys? It's been a while and I am excited to update you guys because it's just been a long time. I know I've been consistent and then suddenly I just stopped posting, so I wanted to update you guys on my dance journey and what has been going on. So yeah, so I did make a post. I don't know if you guys have been following up, but I made a post on my ballet journey and I want to make a video for you guys, an educational video that shows a street dance style background going into ballet and seeing what can be the pros and the cons and just my experience, you know. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm kidding. So yeah, I made a list throughout the months that I was taking ballet, and I started October the 24th, 2024. Excuse me. And so I will be going down some notes that I written down here on my phone, and I will be, yeah, because it's not like an overnight thing, you know, so I made sure to write down certain things that I experienced throughout that time. It was about 2 semesters that I've been learning ballet. So yeah. First one is, overall, I want to say when you first see ballet, we all know that it's a hard style to do, you know. It's a hard art form. But once you actually start doing it, I feel like you gain another understanding, a deeper type of understanding of, oh, this is how hard the style is. So I feel like those two perspectives are something different, even though they're kind of the same thing. Like, you visually see it, but then another one is like, oh, now I feel how hard it is. So that's one thing that I encountered and very underestimated these movements. Because yeah, you can say, oh yeah, that's hard to do, but once you actually do it, now you're like, gosh dang. Like, but yeah, because even the simplest of movements can take months. You know, it's different for everybody, but it takes a long time to perfect. And the thing with ballet is like, you know, if one thing is off, it can throw off your whole balance. So, and in the beginning, coming from a street dance style background, going into ballet, it was something to get used to for sure, because, well, hip hop and like house, those kind of styles involve a lot of bouncing and grooving, you know, and then ballet is like, it's more structured, I think I should say, especially with your posture too. You're like more like, you know, some things have to be precise, you know, like this is first position, this is second position, and you have to do those things while maintaining your posture, being in a like a still movement, if that makes sense. And at the time when I was first going into ballet, you know, I wasn't dancing that much either, so I was kind of in the space like I really wanted to dance more, but at the time while I was taking ballet and focusing more on technique. And you know, I do like doing it because I tried to think of it more as a meditative way, since you're more still sometimes in the moment. Sometimes, especially when you're a beginner, you're just focusing on one part of the body, whether it's just your arms or your feet, or when they're explaining to you what is a tendu, stuff like that. So yeah, and I do like it, you know, because there is a lot of challenge to it. It does take a lot of strength and balance, and I'd say that overall, I feel like my strength and my balance has improved a lot, which is one of the pros, and I do see the growth. Because back then, maybe like some years ago, my knees weren't as strong, and that's probably because I wasn't moving a lot either. And like sometimes I'd bend down and it takes some energy. And now it's like when I bend down, it's like nothing. It feels like feathers. It's like my toes can do all the work, just like this and flying through the air. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten way stronger. My balance is so much better. And you know, that can help you across any style that you're doing. So yeah. How ballet made you feel body-wise, and for yourself, the vulnerability that comes with that. So, knowing me, I wear baggy clothing a lot. And, you know, I wear the typical joggers, loose shirt when I go to dance class. But ballet usually requires more tight-fitted clothing. And sometimes you can wear loose-fitted clothing, but that's more for like, I guess, the professionals, you could say, like the ones that have more experience, because you know, you wear tight fitted clothing so you could see your body lines and you could see if what you're doing is correct or not. Vulnerability, it definitely plays a part in that. I had to get used to that for a little bit. That is one thing. And I'd say throughout those months, in the end, it did help me feel more confident, because, you know, the more you do it, the more you get used to it. But I did get a little bit self-conscious, but I feel like in the end it did make me feel pretty confident. So yeah. And talking about vulnerability, I feel like ballet requires more focused, I guess I should say, focused vulnerability, if that makes sense. I'm gonna give you an example. But going across the floor, right? Oftentimes when we're doing combinations or when we're doing small movement, usually the instructor would be like standing right there and watching you execute. And even though that can happen in any classroom, in any style, I feel like it's kind of sort of more intensified in ballet because of how simple sometimes the movement can be. But even though it's simple, it doesn't mean that it's easy, you know? So I feel like while also going across the floor and doing that in combination with many other variables, while, you know, being a beginner at this, being a little bit self-conscious of not only what you're doing, it could be from what you're wearing, and having all of that and making sure you're not messing up, you're not falling off balance, you're having good posture, you're looking forward and not down, because sometimes, like I said, the smallest things can throw your whole balance off. So even like looking a little bit down or whatever can throw you off. And like, that's just, once you try it for yourself, you know, you can see what I mean. Because even my teacher mentioned that sometimes when I'm like hesitating or when I mess up, I kind of like look down and it just throws me off. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Even doing that takes like vulnerability, because even doing those simple movements across the floor, you're doing this in like a slow pace because you are a beginner at this. So even going through that is challenging, you know? And I feel like that is one of the pros, because I feel like that has helped me in many other situations with life in general too, not just like movement wise, but to say if you were put in situations where you're being evaluated and it's like, okay, they're going to evaluate you for this type of movement, you're gonna be like, okay, I've had training doing this, so maybe I'm not gonna be so nervous this time. I see how that has helped me personally, because there has been many other incidents where, yeah, I am being evaluated and it's like, oh, it's just like any other day I'm being evaluated, just like in class, you know? Like, I've been through this before, so it's not so bad. So that's one of the helpful things too. And I did also notice with other colleagues in the class, I did notice that sense of vulnerability, because we all have different levels of experience. And for me, it wasn't like, I wasn't like too nervous going across the floor, because I feel like for me, I don't know, it took like a different type of vulnerability that I'm used to, because, you know, I have been in dance classes, I have been in dance spaces for a while more than others, and like seeing, even for myself, seeing the type of vulnerability that it takes and seeing how others may feel, I see that, you know, it's obvious that it takes vulnerability to do what you're doing, you know? Oh, this is something I forgot to mention in the other video, but it was in slow motion, so it doesn't matter. But, I remember that since I'm a beginner, right? And I was just first stepping into ballet. I mean, I'm hard on myself in general, and since this is a new style that I'm diving into, and these movements, they're so difficult, so I would be like hard on myself. But of course, I would try not to show the disappointment in my face. And like, I do admit there were times where I was like, oh, I could have done better. Because it is hard, man. Like, trust me, if you try it yourself, man, you'll know how I feel. I mean, I remember I was like, there were times where I would get so frustrated, like inside, that like I feel like I was gonna cry. But even being in that space, you know, it has taught me to I guess have more grace with myself and to know how to process and control those emotions and be like, you know, it's okay, you are learning. Yeah, just having grace with myself and knowing that what I'm doing is hard and I'm not gonna get it the first time or maybe the second time, and that's okay. You know? In what ways did ballet lay the foundation or a foundation? Well, ballet within itself, I've noticed, even though, like I said, seeing the style up front, you can see similarities of how the foundation can connect into other styles. Excuse me. But once you do it yourself, you can really see how these foundations help to assist you in making your movement better as a whole, you know? And even with like the etiquette that comes into ballet, so a lot of the times, a lot of that etiquette is just like in general from when you're performing. So yeah, you can definitely take it with you to the stage, of course. And you know, that is one thing that I do kind of want to talk about is I'm training, I'm learning all of this, and you know, I do it because I love it, but I also want to give it all back. You know, it's not mine to keep. And I don't want to say it just yet, but when the time comes that I do feel that I'm ready to do that, you know, etiquette is definitely something that I would want to touch base upon because that is something that I've noticed way too often that a lot of dancers are missing in general. And yeah, you know, um, yeah, so the foundations in ballet and the etiquette, it can definitely assist you in other styles. Throughout the 2 semesters, we were given a combination to learn, and seeing my growth through that time till the end of the day, the last day of class, I was very proud of myself because even with these simple movements, it takes time to perfect. And like it can take, like I said, months. Me. Me. LOL. I kind of forgot what I was saying. I I was talking to me mom. What was I saying? Oh right, the combination. Yes. Yeah, seeing my growth. Even though it was simple movements throughout that time, it was nice at the end of the day, at the last class, because you know there were little things that I was missing and it was hard because you know having your posture, making sure you're looking forward, or making sure you're having certain muscles engaged, making sure you're extending, you're reaching out, you're pulling up. It's many different things. I remember when my teacher was evaluating me for the last test, I finally got everything right. And I was like, yes. I was like, and like, you could see in their eyes, they were like, and then I was like, I think I did it. I did it. Yeah, yep, I did it. So yeah, that was very rewarding, you know. And it's just overall being in that class, I'm very grateful. You know, I'm grateful for the friends that I made and having an amazing teacher, an amazing accompanist. Yeah, you know. Um I felt like for all of us in the end it was a little emotional because we do this thing, if you don't know, it's called a reverence, and it's what you do to pay respect to your teacher, to the audience, to the accompanist. And then we did the final bow. And yeah, it was like sending his the birds leaving the nest to go and live their life. But yeah, it was very nice, very nice. Um, yeah. So thank you if you guys are watching this. Thank you. Really, truly. I'm glad that I got to share a space and learn from you. And but let me finish touching upon the points that that I was going to make. Another pro is ballet kind of forces you to pay attention more to your body, which is also what I like. So usually when I'm like dancing in other styles, sometimes you know what you did, but it's like you don't know everything that you did. Like you may know the movement, but you probably didn't pay attention to what your foot did or something. And I feel like ballet is really helpful in that because it kind of forces you to pay attention to everything. What are your hands doing? What are your feet doing? You know? And sometimes we would go across the floor and our teacher will always give us feedback at the end of what we're doing. So sometimes they would say like, oh, you flexed your foot when you did that, and then I'm like, oh, you know, I did do that. now that I'm recalling. And I feel like that's helpful because that is strengthening a muscle in your brain that you may not use a lot. And it's very helpful, you know. And I was explaining this in the other video, but I'm gonna explain it again. Usually when I'm freestyling, I was a part of a performance not too long ago, and there was a part when we all had to go and freestyle, And I feel like a strength that I have is being able to, of course, being in the moment. The adrenaline always gets higher when you're performing because everything is intensified in the moment. But sometimes when I'm freestyling, like, there's so much adrenaline, there's so much energy to the point where sometimes I like kind of black out and I don't know what I did. And like, sometimes it's nice and it's not nice. It's a pro and it's a con. Because it's a pro because, you can do it whenever you want. You know how to let go, you know how to let your body be free or speak for itself or to say what it's feeling and hear. But it can be a problem when you don't know what you did, or when you black out and you were supposed to do something and you didn't. And that's kind of one of the things that I encountered is, if I black out and I was supposed to do something, or if I was supposed to execute something in a specific certain way and I didn't because I didn't have full control, then that's when it's a problem. So, and that's also one of the things that one of my teachers mentioned. I took a class just yesterday. I'm show in a bit, show you guys. But yesterday I had the had the privilege, I had the opportunity to take class from Comfort, as some of you may know. If you don't, I recommend that you do your research and search up who Comfort is. That's also one thing that she mentioned, is to dance with intention. And I've heard that a couple of times actually from different teachers, but it's also at the same time something that you don't hear often, or at least I don't. But it's like an obvious thing, but I feel like it's not, like, I guess, what's the word? I feel like it's not talked about enough, to the point where this is something you need to do, because, like, at the end of the day, if your movement doesn't have emotion, or if you don't know the intention behind the movement you're doing, which is something that she mentioned, then it's like, that's one of the major things too. So that's the pro and con of that. Oh, and posture. Ballet has definitely helped me with my posture. I slouch, so I definitely notice when I have bad posture now. And so yeah, it's helped me in that, which is nice. In terms of pain, sometimes I would encounter pain, like if I'm doing a movement wrong. I feel like those are the only times when I've encountered pain, but those times I fixed it, like sometimes I do a plie, and if my knees were kind of like uncomfortable or I'd feel pain in them, then I'd notice that you actually have to push your knees out while you're doing it, and that's the correct way of doing it because your knees have to be in line with your big toe. So yeah. Oh, and also one thing that I want to talk about is I also went to go see the shows that the company would perform, right? And like I would read the pamphlet and the amount of money that people are donating, and it is putting that is being put into this whole production. I'm just like, wow, I am amazed. Like literally millions are being donated, and that's nice. But it just made me think, like, man, like I wish people, I don't know, we would get more that kind of support for like the street dance style communities more. And like it's probably because they're like, you know, a bigger company, but I feel like there's so much dope talent here in Columbus, especially from the street dance style communities. And it's like if we had that kind of support, man, like we would have the dopest shows, man. Cause like even in the past when like I've seen just like small events or performances, they're dope within itself, man. Like there's talent, man. And like if we had that kind of support, man, it would be even bigger. So that is one thing. The competitive environment. I do want to talk about the environment. Definitely one thing that I noticed is coming from the street dance style background, being in those different environments and seeing the difference between being in a ballet environment. I feel like you can notice more of the competitive nature, because when I first came into it I was very excited because I've only seen like ballet like online on the internet through videos from school for educational purposes, videos that we had to watch. So when I first walked in, I was like, oh, I'm so excited because this is the first time I'm actually seeing this like in real time. But it was kind of surprising because some of them weren't like as friendly as people are in the community, in the street dance style communities. That, and it's not just street dance style. I think it could be, once again, because this is more of a like a bigger company, I guess I should say. There's more professionals that have been in this field for a long time, I guess. But I think it's because it's probably more competitive. But I did notice that people don't really say hi. Like they would just walk past you, or like there was this one incident where there was this girl standing in the hallway and she was standing on her point. She was standing on point, right? And like she just didn't move. And I was just like, oh. I said excuse me, but I had to just slip my way back without trying to like, you know, touch her. But she was like right in the middle. And I was like, dang, well, she didn't even move. I was like, that was kind of rude. And I don't know, it was kind of unfortunate because I feel like that plays a part into etiquette in a way. But that's also kind of have just like having manners, you know. But because I feel like overall that's not like a good look on the company in general. But I'm not saying this to like bash anybody or the company. This is once again, my experience. I've actually asked my colleagues, like, if they experienced this, other colleagues that were in the class with me, just to make sure I'm not crazy. Because, it could have just been me. But they were like, no. Like, no, I encountered this too. And I remember that one of them mentioned, like, no, I tried to say hi to this lady and she was just looking at me straight in the eyes and she didn't even say anything. I said hi and she just kept on staring and I was like, oh, well, dang. But once again, I say this for educational purposes. It's different for every place. Every place is not the same. Because last semester I had another colleague and she has more experience in like the competition dance field, and she has more experiences of people being more rude because it's a competition, and unfortunately there are just more instances like that where people are more rude. But yeah, I mean, and it could be, for many other reasons. Maybe people don't say hi because we don't know each other. It could be anything, but like I said, this is, of course, not all people are rude there. Some are very kind. But like I said, I mentioned this for educational purposes. This is just my experience and others' experiences. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed class. People in my class were very friendly. I learned and I've grown so much through this movement, and I'm grateful. So yeah. And once again, whether you're a professional in ballet or a beginner, or if you're not, leave your comments or your opinions below if you disagree, if you don't agree, so we can start that conversation, so I can learn, so we can help each other out. And yeah, the camera cut off because it was overheating, but but leave your comments in the below. I definitely want to know and learn more because I am still learning and I am a beginner. And yeah, appreciate you guys if you are still following along, keeping up, and if you think this can help anybody, share, like, and comment, because this does help me. And even though I don't say it, because if you like the video you'll like it, and yeah, but it does help. I will be showing some of my movement so that I can show you guys the compare and the contrast from the beginning when I did first start going into ballet compared to now. And hopefully you guys can see a slight difference or a huge difference. But yeah, that's pretty much it about my ballet journey. And like I was saying, I had the privilege to take class from Comfort, and I just want to say thank you. And I'm positive for the future. I'm excited, and I'm gonna keep on going, keep on learning, keep on growing. And yeah, and she was so kind to give us these t-shirts, man. And the logo. Hey y'all, come on. But yeah, I can't wait to see how this program will grow. It is called DAM, the Dance Artist Method. It's an intensive, yes. So yeah, I recommend you guys follow along on her socials. And yeah, I genuinely, I really enjoyed it, you know, I really did. Man. And like you can see her experience through her movement, like like yeah, you can tell. I feel like you can tell when someone has been around for a long time when you see it through their movement. So, and very kind human being, man. Just friendly human being. She has a good balance of professionalism and just being a good friendly human being, you know, and just providing a good safe and just having good vibes in the space, you know, and knowing that, you know, everybody's here to support one another and to not judge, you know. It's just to help one another. So yeah, I do plan on continuing with ballet, but yeah, this is it for now. So it was nice catching up with you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bow. I'm kidding. Peace out. Okay. Let me turn this around. Okay. It's kind of bright out here. It's really bright out here. I'm gonna film a short piece that I learned in ballet class. I didn't get to show you guys, or I figured I showed you guys in a different setting. Now that the weather is so nice outside, I'm gonna do a little piece back here, and yeah, I'm gonna try and remember what I did. I think it's still summer semester, but this one's way shorter, and last semester was the last time that I took ballet class, so I'm gonna show that small piece that we learned and maybe trying to do a couple of moves and stuff, and just to track my progress. I'm gonna take off my shoes and then I'm gonna play some. It's not the exact same piece of music that we use. I'm gonna try and talk a little bit like loud and close to the camera because I still need to get a mic, and it's still pretty windy out here, so I hope that you guys can hear me. But I'm gonna do this really quick. cut it. I still remember it, guys. I still remember it. The weather is awesome today, man. Okay. That's what we learn. And then you do it on the other side. And then you do it, we did it towards the mirror. And then we did it without looking in the mirror. And I found that that was really helpful. Let me move out of the sun. Okay. I found that that was really helpful because it teaches you, of course, that's like a fundamental. So whenever you're in any setting, doing any dance, doing a combination, a piece of choreography, you will be able to transfer it from left to right seamlessly and know where you are in the room. So I felt like practicing that the way that we did was really helpful. And I'm so glad that I decided to come outside, because it's like for so long I've been waiting for it to be summer, and then I haven't really went outside to the park or anything yet. And because for these past months since I've been in school, I think, I don't know, it's been like maybe 2 years now, almost going into 3, where I've just been like working consistently, studying, improving, refining, and it's like I need to take a break. I need to remind myself to like go outside today, you know, like take a break. You don't need to finish everything today. Like there's no rush. Like it'd be helpful, but there's no rush, you know. And I need to find that balance, you know. Actually like dedicate more time to just sitting and relaxing, you know. I really hope you guys can hear me. I usually always put captions on my videos. They're like repairing this park. And right here they like repainted this. I'm like, whoa, this is so freaking nice. Hey, look at this fresh paint. The dude was painting over there some words on the concrete. Oh, I didn't even do the couple of moves I said I was gonna do. But I mean, I'm low-key still disappointed that I had to recreate the other video because I talked for like 30 minutes. But I hope I covered everything, you know. And I feel like a lot of other people that have taken ballet can agree that it has a lot of fundamentals that can apply to any style, you know. It has etiquette in there that applies to anything, any style. Some of the etiquette, and yeah, man, I do want to continue this series. I want to show you guys like the pros and the cons and how I've been growing as a dancer, so you guys can know and learn more, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do a couple more moves, like lift my leg up like I was trying to do in the other video, to like I don't know if you guys will be able to see the difference, but there's definitely a difference. Like I can hold it up there longer, even though the length may not be there yet. My muscles are stronger, and something that I've definitely noticed is that I need to work on strength in different areas of my body to do these kind of moves. What I've like really started noticing is that stretching isn't my problem. Like I thought I couldn't do these kind of moves because I didn't stretch enough, and for a long time that I thought that was the reason. It's like I just need to stretch and do this more. But no, my problem is strength, because I mean you can stretch all you want, but when you reach that place or deeper into that position that you're trying to do, you may not be able to keep that, and the reason can be because you're not strong in that area. So it's not just a matter of flexibility, but both of those play a point in keeping and maintaining that move. So I don't know, maybe some of you know about that, but I didn't, or I'm now starting to realize that more, and it makes a difference. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there to help you guys. So yeah. See, I haven't been doing it a while. It does seem a bit weaker, but I could almost, in class, I could almost do it like at 90 degrees. That's hard. That is not easy. But it probably on video looked like this high above the ground, not that much. And to talk more about the combination that I did, even though those moves may seem simple, like that what you saw right there was the end of months of like practicing. But at the same time, I only really practiced it during class, so I could have improved faster. But those moves, if you try it for yourself, just you'll see what I'm talking about, and you'll see that even doing like that plie that I did can be difficult within itself, because you have to have balance doing all of that. And if your balance is off, you can like tip to the side or anything. You have to have certain muscles engaged, and then you have to make it look effortless, and then you have to listen to the music. Like right now we're focusing a lot on technique because we're beginners, but it's like now you gotta, at a certain part when you have the choreo down or the movement, now you had to like feel the music. And I mean, you should already technically be feeling it while you're learning, I feel like, because like personally I feel like that would give you, it would help you in the long run to already like do it while you're learning. That will help you so much as a dancer, and that's what I'm trying to do. But we're getting there. And what else? Yeah, you had to feel the movement, because I do remember that at sometimes when we would do the combination, my teacher would be like, all right, now you guys put like I don't remember the exact words, but he basically said like, put yourself into it, add some artistry now. Like because he said that we kind of look like robots now, and like I'm just like, oh, like that's one thing that I always try to avoid, always, especially when you're a dancer, like but at the same time I kind of like, I wasn't like too, I guess, disappointed, because I knew that I'm a beginner, and well, first you have to know what you're doing first, so you're probably, I'm gonna hurry this up because my camera's overheating now. In the beginning, it's probably normal that you'll kind of look like a robot because you're learning what to do. Yeah, you have to know what you're doing and know why. So I'm gonna end this here for now, and yeah, I'm planning to take ballet in different studios around Columbus, because I know Ballet Met, they only have like level 1 and level 2, but level 2, if it shows up on the schedule, it can be like a miracle, because I mean, it depends, because there's some semesters where a lot of students will sign up for it, and then there's semesters that not many students sign up for it, so it'll probably be a while since I see ballet 2 on there, but I think I'm gonna learn elsewhere now for now and see how other teachers teach. And an interesting thing is seeing within this style how other teachers teach, especially since I feel like this style is more like technical. Just seeing how other teachers choose to break things down in a certain way, I think that's pretty interesting. But I'll see you guys later. Hope you enjoyed this video. Now we gotta find the angle. The lighting is like just, so you gotta, you know, see where you can see me. Found the angle. Oh wait. God dang it, man. I think it's because it's on video mode, it kind of cut it off. And don't judge, it's this house is a very old house, but you know, I got my carpet there. It's all good, you know, you gotta make it work with what you got. A place is a place for me. I don't know if you guys can see me. And this is also hard for me. Like, I can raise my leg higher in the front and sideways, but then it goes lower as I go sideways and then back. Back is my hardest, of course, because you have the butt in the way, so it's easier to lift your leg up front because there's nothing in the way. In the back, it's your butt in the way. So, but you know, comes with skill. Of course, the more I do it, the higher I can go. So this is higher. This is side. Not too high. And then the back. Not too high either. Looking from the mirror is probably like half a foot off the ground or a foot. So it's not much, but you know, you just gotta keep on practicing. So that's just a little bit of what my progress is. My voice is kind of weird because I'm getting over a cold, so don't mind it. Opa, how you doing, love? I don't think you can see my leg from up there. That's motivation. It's motivation. Okay, well, I'm gonna try and keep my balance and show you guys. Ooh. Ah! Okay. But yeah, I really wish I took a video of showing you guys my basics, because even that simple move right there, I did it smoother. And in the beginning it was like, okay. It was more like, like until you do it, I feel like you would really understand my point of view. Even understanding the points that you have to hit of the shape of moving your leg while being on balance is hard, and making sure you hit those same points every time. And it wasn't as smooth, and especially because it feels irregular to you, like, because for me, I don't really do those moves before. Like, I dance, but I never really like focused on those fundamentals, even like putting my leg behind me on that back point. Once you do it and you feel it, I feel like you'll understand what I'm saying more. Usually I wear more tight-fitted clothing so you can see the lines but on my body, but I'll just tuck everything in so it's more easier to see. Me oppa. Me oppa. Are you going to practice with me? You want to say hi to the camera? Oh, me sofa, thank you. Oh, me sofa. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I put it to the bed. Okay. Ooh, I did it, bruh. I did. Ha. Oh, man. Thank you. Ooh, 2 times. So like even like I'm doing kind of like I'm doing a simple, it looks simple, but there's like different components you have to look at. So within that move, you have to make sure you're spotting. So you spot this way, and then you spot this way. So that you don't stop spotting once you spot the second time on the side. So you have to keep that in mind while keeping up your posture. And you also have to balance right. And you have to, like I was showing, do your plie when you push off. And also like be careful you don't like bend the other leg, because it's like, and then you go into this bend. And then you keep your arms. So it's like, it kind of feels like driving. It's like you have to keep a lot of things in mind while doing one thing, like one move. Yeah, it's kind of harder here. It's not harder. I don't have a bar, but it's fine because I have this handy dandy lawnmower, dog. That's our bar, man. Okay. And then wait. Ooh, yo. Almost did. Wait, no. I did. Okay. Ooh. So it's things like that, like balancing is harder than, don't underestimate it. It's harder than it looks. Let me see if I could show you. Cause it's hard to do it by myself without like trying to use the bar thing. Okay, what if, oh, I could just do that way. Brilliant, kind of. You could kind of see it. Okay. I'm about to lose battery, so this has to be quick. Ooh. Okay, see, I did that. It was like so much easier now, but I was mad struggling. I was like, it's fine, it's fine. What else?